for another edition of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast presented by Vansickle Pet Value in Lundy's Lane Pet Value. Don't forget, race fans, the Spring Sizzler is right around the corner. You can grab tickets for any Saturday night event at Vansickle Pet Value in Lundy's Lane Pet Value while you're also spoiling your pups, your cats, whatever pet you got. They can help you out and take care of you. And it is my dog's favorite spot to go to. So check them out and make sure you grab your race tickets from Vansickle Pet Value in Lundy's Lane Pet Value. Travis, episode 82, buddy. What do we got for a number here?
Who do I got? Yeah, I lost you for a second there.
Yeah, no, yeah. Who you got?
Did you say yours yet?
No, I haven't said mine yet. You're good. It's all you.
Oh, well, I'm going to because I'm going to give you the local one. So I'm going to go with the Buffalo Wild Wings Sprint Car. There was a bunch of drivers in that thing. I think Mark Dobmeyer drove for a while, but that car definitely wore out the seat bolts. I think Brian Clausen might have had a tour in it, but it was number 82. The car's extinct, but that was only a couple of years ago. But it was Buffalo Wild Wing. Like the guy that owned that franchise owned it.
That's pretty sick, actually.
That was the main scheme. Yep.
I like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go with the local, like you said, Ken Winfield. Drove the 82, yep. I believe, in the modifieds, and I'm trying to think if we saw an 82 in Sportsman.
I've raced against him.
I was going to say, I think it was just modifieds. I don't think I've seen that car or an 82 in Sportsman as well, but I think just modified.
The other, I Googled 82 cars, and the other one that popped up that was kind of famous is Scott Speed, your boy with the racer name last week in the Red Bull 82.
That is true. Did run an 82 in the Cup Series.
That's the night. That car was cute. That was a sexy car. Looking at the silver one.
Yeah, the silver one wasn't bad. I liked the blue ones. I liked the 83 and 84.
Blue one's also good.
I liked Casey Kane's 4 car as well. That one was a good one. But yeah, Scott Speed's was pretty iconic with the silver. So, all right, let's dive into it.
This reminds me, we didn't talk about this. We didn't write it down, but we're going to write it down right now on the end of the list. Okay. It's funny that the listeners can hear this. But we're going to do another draft, and it's going to be iconic paint schemes.
Oh, you want to get a draft today?
You can go. I'll just stick it in there.
Well,
do one every time. We're going to try to come up with a new one.
Well, I like doing drafts, but I also have a new segment courtesy. I got to show you something here last night. I got to give my my pal Statman Fran a shout out because he gave me a whole lot of paperwork here. You can hear it on the podcast, me flipping through it here. But I
can see it. I can only imagine what it says.
I've got Merrittville Speedway heat winners from 2023 and the feature winners organized. I've got feature winners by year for each season going back to 2016. So I've got Humberstone here. I've got Oshweekend.
Only 2016?
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go further back. But
come on.
Well, hang on. Let's see. Oh, that's Ransomville.
Fran, get the archives out, Fran.
Yeah, I know. We should really I want to go hard with it and
Well, back in my day, Fran was the announcer. I got a Fran impression. I'm not going to do it today, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, he might want.
He was the color guy forever. Me growing up in dirt racing from 2004 till whenever he stopped doing it Merrittville, Humberstone. He was the dude doing it.
Yeah, and
I know his notes. Maybe he didn't have time to do it then or something. Fran, where's the rest of your notes? I know you got them.
I would be I'd be more curious about top 5s and top 10s. I want to go back and do a full on spreadsheet, dive into some analytics, who had the best average finish each year, all that sort of stuff. I think that would be kind of a neat project to tackle. If I ever get some more free time, if this podcast blows up and we get to a point where it's paying more bills, I will 100% invest my time in that. So.
And what was the segment? Just
I just wanted to, I'm thinking I've got these stats here. I might just throw a random year at you and see if you can guess the driver based on the statistics or something like that.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. This driver had this many wins in 2017.
Going back to 2003-ish, I could do it. Shane Pierce could probably do better than that. Probably back to whenever he was born.
All right, let's do a quick one just to test before we really get into the nitty gritty here. All right, I'm gonna go back to the year. I was already at the racetrack for that one. That's one's less interesting. I'm gonna go back to the year 2017. I want you to tell me at Merrittville who led the modifieds in wins for the year. 2017.
gotta be Bowman, Matt, or Pete.
It's a trick question. You got one of the right answers.
Or Brockman.
There it is. Chad Brockman and Matt Williamson tied with 5 feature wins apiece in 2017.
Yep.
Oddly enough,
when Ray was on Brockman's crew.
Oddly enough, Pete did
Ray
not
Samuel
win a race
was on
that year.
Brockman's then.
Pete did not win. Neither did Bowman. I don't see
That
Bowman or Pete in 2017.
I should have said Brockman.
Yeah.
Give me another one.
You want another one? All right, we'll stick with 2017.
If you went back to my days in modified, like I'd be able to pick it, no problem.
Yeah. Well, let's.
Like I remember 2006, Pete won like 7 in a row to start the year. It was crazy.
All right, let's do Sportsman. 2017 Sportsman, who led the Sportsman in wins.
I feel like you wouldn't do it if it was Cody.
Nope, it's not Cody. He had 3 Cody had 3 that year, but that was not enough to lead the series.
2017 Lindbergh was mod then. It's got JMF maybe?
Nope, JMF only had 2.
Who was it?
Brad Rouse.
Brent Begolo? Brad Rouse. Yeah, I forgot he was down there then. Yeah, of course.
So Brad
only 3 though. That shows Merrittville.
Brad had 6. Brad had 6 that year.
6. Yeah.
Yeah, he had 6. I just had who else had? Begolo had 3 to be second. McPherson had 3. JMF.
Yeah, that's 2. The year I announced. I should have known. I got sick of talking to Brad Rouse that year. Although he knows what I mean.
Yeah.
I talked to him a lot when I was announcing. Man, he was one of the ones all the time. Him and Cody and yeah.
Well, that's a good place to start because I was down at Merrittville Speedway's kind of like limited practice, we'll call it, this past Wednesday. As it was not a full slate of cars like we're expected to see on Saturday should weather hold up. But there were still race cars on the racetrack, and Brad Rouse was one of the modifieds who made an effort to get out there. Justin Sharp was there. Who else did I see there from the mods?
Double Carlton.
Yeah, Double Carltons were there as well from the mods. Pete had his Ford 2 out there. Looked like the Ransomville car, if I had to guess, though, because it didn't have sail panels on it. So I think he was testing maybe the Ransomville car. Unless
I think you're correct.
Unless he's planning to not go.
Judging by the car that was dripping in water this morning when I was heating up my coffee.
Right? Yeah, unless like he's not going sail panels, but I'm pretty sure that there's 242s kicking around the shop. The last
I don't know if he's running Ransomville this year, honestly. But he might be rocking 2 cars.
Yeah.
Whatever he's feeling.
Yeah, we'll see. Either way, Pete was out there doing a little testing as well. We saw Brent Begolo in a crate sprint car that he was out there with. I think there might have been 2 others there that were in crate sprints. Pretty mixed bag of cars, but it was mostly modifieds. A couple sportsman guys and a couple crate sprint guys, and then I think Jacob Dykstra might have had the 410 out there. I couldn't tell if it was 360 or 410, but he was out there as well in the 5D pounding
like
around.
410 to me into picks.
Yeah, it looked like it, right?
Here's the easiest way to tell between 360 and 410. It's very easy. Like the nozzles on a 410 are just right beside the header for the intake, whereas a 360 they're not there. They're on the inside of the injection. But they're called down nozzles on a 410, and like a 360 has to be up in the injector, like inside of the runner, and it only points like at the very beginning of the intake port opening, whereas the down nozzles are literally drilled on the outside and it's like right behind the valve and it sprays the fuel right in there.
Nice.
Way better route, but that's not allowed in 360s, but that's the perfect way to tell. And then the aluminum blocks.
That too.
Another way.
Well, like I said, it was pretty limited practice. It was more, I think, I heard some people making some noise about lap times and who was fast, who was not fast. Everybody looked pretty steady to me. I generally judge things not by lap time, but by how cars are driving in traffic. Cody McPherson actually I was talking to him after his run, and a lot of the drivers had tons of great things to say about the track, including Cody. But he did note that he felt like the low line through 3 and 4, maybe not as fast as it used to be or in years past at Merrittville. Like obviously track was still in great shape, but he found that there was more speed when he drove kind of like the middle of 3 and 4 as opposed to being right down on the rail. He found like the car was bogging down a bit too much and couldn't quite get carry the speed through there the way he had in years past. So that might be something to watch for. Maybe it was just something for early in the year, but it'll be interesting to see if maybe 3 and 4 is a different sort of line for some of those guys, especially with the crate motors.
Yeah, I think that's just the way the mods are going with you got to keep them wound up a little bit more, but pictures I saw, I saw pictures from the daytime. But how slick did it get? Did it get super slick?
It didn't seem like it got super super slick, but
Because I
it
feel
was
like when it gets
smooth as glass. It looked
100
like.
lapper sprint car night slick. Oh, it's always smooth as glass there. Like I say,
Yeah, it was
bumps at
really
Merrittville
nice
are
stuff.
dime a dozen. Yeah, yeah, we'll see. I'm sure the bottom of four will come around and see someone win out of there
Yeah.
next this year, like always.
Yeah, we'll see if they get their practice in on Saturday. Again, weather in the Southern Ontario area not looking ideal. Lots of rain.
Northeast area.
Yeah, Northeast in general. But if Merrittville gets practice in on Saturday, you'll be able to go and check that out. Sounds like if they don't get practice in, you can expect to see a practice probably on Wednesday next week. So whatever that is, the uh looks like the 17th if my math is correct. So um yeah, I would say you can go and check that out. And of course, Spring Sizzler, April 20th. Can't wait for that one. It's future Jonathon here. Can confirm practice at Merrittville rained out. So if you're hoping to go watch practice, or if you're a driver or crew member who is going to be helping out with the practice, it has now been moved to Tuesday, April 16th. April 16th, Tuesday night. That is when practice will begin. Pits open at 4 p.m. and the actual sessions are going to start around 6 p.m. ahead of the 73rd season opener, which of course is the Peters Construction Group presents the Spring Sizzler, featuring the Southern Ontario Sprints. That's happening Saturday, April 20th at Merrittville Speedway. Travis, you mentioned that weather not looking great in general across the Northeast. Super Dirt Car Series have already gone ahead and canceled their plans for this weekend. They were supposed to be down at Can-Am Speedway for the Thunder on the Thousand Islands. That event has been canceled for
They
this
got to move
weekend.
that race, man.
Yeah,
That one ain't it.
it's just a tough time of
Always
the year
gets it.
for that particular
Yep.
spot in the country, right? Like we still get a lot of rain, April showers. So the other thing too is like I feel like they got so much more time, right? Like the next Super Dirt Car Series event is until May 26th. I know, a lot of local tracks are opening, and you guys, you want your guys at the local openers and all that sort of stuff. But I feel like they got some room in the schedule that they can play with that, and it should be moved around to a better time for Can-Am.
Did they say they were going to move it? I didn't read the whole thing. I just saw
I'm
some
just
notes.
looking on their website right now, and it just says canceled. Let me see if I can grab.
Cancel means cancel.
Yeah, I don't think they said nothing in the headlines about it
Postpone
being
means
postponed at
postponed.
all. So, um, doesn't look like they are gonna make this event up in any sort of way.
That hurts. Because if you get, that's the thing about this time of year. If you do get a good weather day, you will kill it. And it'll be jammed. And hot dogs will be sold. But a lot of time getting rain too.
Yeah, and then I should say that I know I just mentioned May, but there's also the Super Dirt Car Series Stars will be in action with the Dirt Car 358 Modifieds at Fulton April 27th for the High Bank Hold Up weekend.
Yep, a couple guys run both. I think Matt probably be there that one, and I think Mahaney does both, and Tim Sears will be there. Like the Fulton, a lot of Fulton regulars have. They run small block there weekly,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah. So all the Tim Sears and people that run there have a small block. So yeah, pretty good one. Not like back in the day where like every big block guy ran the small block tour.
No,
It was like yeah,
things have
that's how it
changed.
was back in the day though. Alan Johnson, Danny, all the boys had both, ran both.
Yep. So we should probably dive into. You wanted to touch on Mike Mahaney starting things off on the right foot for his local season.
Yeah, he's turning me into a fan a little bit just because Grandview, it's a hard place to win at, and he went and started last in his heat, and it's like a race where tons of good guys didn't qualify. There was tons of cars there, and Grandview's not a place where you can start last and drive up and win, which is what he did. But they do a 20 car invert, or not an invert, but a redraw, and they do that for their 76er too, which is their big race, and it pays thousands. It's like our nationals.
Yep.
1 year it paid 76,000, 1 year it paid 50. It moves around, but they redraw the whole field at that one. If you qualify through B main, win your heat, don't matter, you're redrawn. I think that's kind of wild and cool, but they did that, and sure enough, Mahaney was one of the last cars, got the last spot in his heat, and drew the pole, and then spanked him. So he did get some luck, but had to drive it and win.
Something else I wanted to touch on before we move on to sprint cars and the high limits in the 410s of the World of Outlaws. I feel like we should do a little bit more silly season updates because I think we've got some more things starting to come
Okay.
together in terms of pictures of drivers returning locally to some rides, some drivers moving up. One of the ones that we talked about just briefly off air, Kyle Rothwell's going to Sportsman. I think we've already touched on Nelson Mason, JMF moving to modified, right? I think was what we've covered already. I'm trying to think of what other ones we've already said.
And that's it.
I think that's it, right? So you had a pretty good list there. So run me through what you got, and I'll see if there's anything
So,
else I have to
yeah.
add.
JMF Nelson Mason to modified.
Yep.
Jay Mallory to run modified full time.
Yep.
Bill Gill to run modified full time. Martin Polhill coming back. He's been off for at least 10 years. I'm thinking more like 15. Last I seen him run was in a Sportsman, and he's running
I
modified.
think I was talking
He
about it
was
with
out last
Fran,
night.
like 2005 may have been the last full year for him.
It sounds about right because he used to park like 2 over from me, and he would show up by himself, and he would park next to Freddie because little Freddie would help both guys out. Like Martin would show up by himself with the Sportsman, and he won a race that year. I can remember him winning a race. So yeah, he used to park a couple down for me. Cool to see him back. Who else did I say? Oh yeah, Mike Litke moving from. He's still going to run the ISMA Super, but he's going to run a 360 at Oshweekend as well. Kyle Rothwell got a Sportsman. Rod Sauter's coming back to Sportsman. I think I saw on his Facebook. Did I miss? Who else did I say?
I
I got him.
think you got them all there now. So again, all this stuff is fairly unofficial until everybody's in their right cars and we
Most
see
of
it all.
those sound
But
pretty
it sounds
official, I
like they're
think.
pretty much done deals. I mean, we saw Nelson Mason's car, which I personally like
Jimmy.
the look of this one a little bit better than I did even last year. I think the more like block straight ahead highlighter yellow stripes that it's got this year looks a little sharper, I think, and I think it's
I
going to
feel
look
like I'm
better.
still missing a modified.
Yeah, I feel like there might be one we're missing too that
I
I'm
thought there was 5, and I said 4. God.
trying to think if I saw anybody at practice that. No,
Don't think too hard on it.
I
But
know. We'll get it the first week anyways.
surprise. Yep.
Yeah, so let's we covered that local stuff. I wanted to jump into the World of Outlaws first because they've had a few races to talk about last Friday and Saturday. They were at US through 36 Raceway in Osborne, Missouri. David Gravel again gets the win after again I was hard on the case. Said that I expected him to be more dominant and well, led 15 laps, started third, ended up winning over Donnie Schatz and Michael
Who's second?
Crowfoot.
That's right.
Yeah,
Those are the 2 boys for the ship this
the
year. I'm
Don.
telling you. Those are them.
He's
The
looking.
Don and the Dave. And it looked like the Don was going to win for a while, and then Gravel figured it out. But like Don had to come from pretty deep, pretty farther back,
Yep.
and he found the middle and just started rolling by guys. It was pretty hammer down to start on the bottom, and then Don drove through the field, and then Gravel must have got a hand signal or something because then he was able to hold him off, and then Don couldn't gain on him.
Yeah, and then the next night at Arrowhead Speedway in Oklahoma, Sheldon Hanschild gets the win over David Gravel. Gio Scelzi third in the podium there. That was for the Jason Johnson Classic on the Saturday, April 6th. So Scelzi led, looks like first, 16 laps, give or take, and then Hanschild got the last 14, maybe a little bit of trading in the middle there. I'm trying to remember.
Jacob Allen drove up from the back of the field and got wrecked.
Yep.
And then he blamed Gio Scelzi on Facebook, and they got into a Facebook war, which was kind of funny to read. I honestly enjoyed the living heck out of it. It was great. But
well, I mean, if you're Jacob
I was
Allen, why are you not calling him out by name? I appreciate the sentiment, but I feel like
you should have tagged him.
just tag him. You're gonna say it anyways.
And he's doing it on Facebook too. Like, holy boomer, that's a boomer.
Well, that's where most boomers would see that information, right?
True, yeah. But yeah, his brother on the Drivers podcast said the same thing. Yeah, that's where I got that. He's totally right. Should have probably said it at the track or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, or at least tag him. But anyway, it was funny to read. But I don't think it was Gio's fault, really. Like, Jacob Allen just didn't hold the bottom that time. He opened the door for Gravel and Scelzi to stick his nose in there, and 3 wide at that place, little narrow, was rubber down, and bad things happened. If he would have held the bottom there, those guys wouldn't have really got under him. So.
Yep. Yeah, I feel you on that one. We've got what's next on the schedule for the World of Outlaws. They're racing this weekend, both at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 in
Love.
Peverly, I should say.
Oh,
Peevely?
Peevely.
Peevely?
It's Schrader's track.
Oh, because
Southern Ontario Dirt Show guest.
I'm trying to say it like Rich Peverly, like the hockey player, but there's no R there.
Yeah.
Quick reading.
You do stink at names sometimes.
It's mostly my eyes. I think I just need like actual cheater glasses on top of my contacts. I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, the World of Outlaws Spring Classic, April 12th, 13th, for the NOS Energy World of Outlaws. The other 410 series, having a tough go battling against the rain, but they're scheduled to race the high limits at Texarkana on Friday for the Texarkana 67 Speedway event.
The 12th?
Yeah, that's what's showing here. It's the 12th for them.
Okay, perfect.
And then the 13th, the Saturday night, is when they're at Texas Motor Speedway. And the 14th, they go to RPM Speedway. So triple header this weekend.
They lost two dates already, I think, this week. At least one on Tuesday for sure from Riverside.
Yep.
And then, hope to see double 410s this weekend would be great.
Yeah.
All races get in.
That'd be cool.
So more Twitter, Facebook drama to talk about. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'd be here. I'm here for that. I love that they're making headlines for us ahead of the local schedule kicking off. So, you want to jump right into your draft here?
The only other.
Oh, what else you got?
The last thing was the Port Royal opener. Danny Dietrich picked up the win. I love Double D because there's a guy that's Melfi on Twitter. But it's always facts. Like, that's what people hate about him. Like, he's always spewing facts.
Yep.
And like, he'll like play both sides of the, like, sometimes, like, I love race fans and 95% of them, 7% of them are the best. But like, sometimes race fans can get a little too mouthy, and Double D will call them out on their crap every time. And I love it. And he can usually back it up and win. And that's what he did at Port Royal. It was rubber down surface, and he pulled the late race move on Devin Borden. And there was a huge wreck on the start. Jeff Halligan and Linton Jeffrey, who's been coming to drive for GSR for the last two Sprint Car Nationals. And I've heard a rumor that he's coming to race again this year. I don't know how true that is, but I'm saying I heard the rumor. Who knows how true it is? But I'm heard he's coming every week. That'd be kind of crazy because he's like a Knoxville guy. But anyway, he's the one that got turned around. It looked to me like it was probably Halligan's fault. It was definitely a little bit of games from both parties on the start, which if you play games on the start, you crash. Like, hello, drivers. You play games on the start, you crash. So pretty simple on that one. And then, or you crash the field behind you, which is kind of what happened there. Like, Linton got the worst of it, and he ended up flipping. But like, all those guys behind just got tore up for nothing because those two were playing little games on the start. Like, don't do that stuff.
So
just
annoying.
Start the race.
So annoying.
So annoying.
All right, let's jump into the draft here. So how do you want to structure this one for? This is what? Best looking race cars, best paint schemes all time?
Most iconic paint schemes of all time.
Okay.
We can just do.
Let's
do 5, and you can go first.
All right, so you want a 5-pack. Snake draft. You're giving me the first one. Are we doing like any one of them's got to be local? Like what? One of them has to be dirt. No restrictions.
You can pick the one that you're thinking right away.
All right, then give me the Rainbow Warrior scheme.
No doubt. I'm not going to do any Dale ones. I'm going to try to keep mine all dirt, but you can do whatever the heck you want.
All right.
So for me, the most iconic sprint car scheme is Jack Hoddenchild in the Pennzoil 22. Like, you could say Steve Kinzer in the Quaker State 11 and all that, but he was more Valvoline. He was Valvoline too, so like he's double oil. So I don't know. Jack's 22. He was my favorite growing up, so that was it for me.
Ooh, good pick. All right.
This is in no particular order. I know, like, we say it first, but like, it's not like 1 to 5 for me. I'm just thinking of ones that I love.
So, wait, if it's a snake draft, you get your next pick here.
Right. Man, I was thinking of so many better ones today. Well, for me, it's iconic because this guy's like one of my idols for sure, because the last true owner-driver / pretty much crew chief to win a NASCAR Cup Series by himself, and it's the Hooters number 7. Like, iconic as hell, the Underbird.
Good pick. Yeah, that's a good looking race car. You know what? I will go to the World of Dirt, and You can debate me on this, but I think in terms of modern race cars and very iconic schemes, I think there's two in the sprint car world that you can point to that, to my recollection, have not changed overtly in the last 5 years or so. And I'll take Brad Sweet's number 49 Napa car.
Yep. It was a little bit different when he very first started, but yeah, it's been when he's been winning all the ships, exact same pretty much.
Yeah, it hasn't changed much over the last couple of years. Here and there, like all the Napa
Yeah.
cars do, every once in a while they all change a little bit, but I
Blue and yellow. There's not many blue and yellow cars.
yeah, and I can't think of I can't think of another driver combo, like sponsor combo, that has lasted that same way without minimal or with that much or that little of change, right? So I'm going there,
Yep.
and I will go with the Paul Silva 57 sprint car, often
Oh yeah.
piloted by Kyle Larson. I would say that one's a pretty iconic race car at this point too, for racing schemes, especially on the dirt.
Especially the most plain iconic scheme ever, which I love plain stuff. Plain schemes are great.
All right, and you get two now.
Yep. So the next one going local and national in the dirt modified world, and this scheme never changed once, and it is the Canada one, Joe Plaza.
Good pick.
Mm-hmm.
And who you got next for your fourth pick?
Oh man, staying in the same local area because this one's a good one for me too, and it's plain Blue Streak, Don Turner.
Ooh, the Blue Streak.
And it's local.
All right.
He never changed it. That's the main thing about iconic stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm going to go with... Ooh. I'm going to go with the iconic Ferrari red Formula One race car.
Ooh. That's never changed.
It changes here and there. Every once in a while, they'll throw like the Italy colors in there.
Red.
There might be some gold that creeps in there, but it is always a base.
One year,
red.
Williams tried to be Ferrari.
Yes, I remember that.
Never since then, they were garbage.
Yep.
Well, they weren't garbage, but haven't won a ship since. That's the F1 curse.
Yeah.
Copy the Ferrari car. No more championship for you.
And one more. I feel like I gotta go with an Indy car here to split to kind of round things out. A lot of Canadian drivers have passed through and driven these iconic colors, and I'm gonna go with the Players Blue race cars.
Greg Moore,
Paul Tracy, Alex Tagliani, AJ. I think
very Canadian.
AJ Allmendinger, I think, drove that for a season or two.
They love the Canadians, them boys.
Yeah, those players' cars were always. No, Scott Goodyear would have been before that. I don't think he ever drove the players' car. Did Jacques Villeneuve drive a players' car? No.
Hell yeah, he won the Indy 500
he won the Indy 500 with it. Yeah, so they, for whatever reason,
which I called bullshit on last week because they. Oh, the guy from Southern Ontario can't be the first Canadian to win Indy. Nuh-uh. No way. Gotta be Jacques. Anyway.
All right. I'm going to say the Players Indy car is my last of my iconic car schemes. I mean, that one could go... you could get like specific in each like style of race car. I'm curious to see who you get for the last 5.
We're just going 5.
I want to see who you get at number 5.
People message us your favorites.
Yes. Comment.
Daryl did message me a bunch of cool racing names last week. I told him to do it on his pod. He didn't, but he messaged me some like Rocky Hodges and Tommy Hindershits. And he said Ayrton Senna. And he even wanted like Paulie Giovanni's even. That's a long one.
It's a good Italian one, though.
That sounds more like a soccer player than a sprint car driver, honestly. But my last iconic scheme. This one is close to my heart because the guy would build his own engines and crew chief his own car, but he would hire drivers. And one of his main drivers ever was one of my favorite drivers ever, and that's Jack Hewitt. And it's the Hampshire 63, and it's plain, and it never changed.
You do love a plain race car.
Yep.
You know who?
Honorable mention Marlboro anything.
Yes, that was kind of what
Yeah.
I was debating. I was
Yeah.
having a hard time debating and not picking that because the Marlboro
There's so many
cars,
more. Hard to narrow them
Marlboro
down, but those
McLaren
ones
cars
for
were
me.
good. The Penske ones were always nice.
Yeah.
You know who I was thinking about picking in the fifth?
Rusty's friggin' GMD
Yes, the MGD car.
or Miller MGD. Yeah.
Yes, that was a sick car.
Way better than Miller Lite.
Yep.
That car was way sicker. Yeah.
You know who I was thinking
So
of
many.
taking was the. The only thing I couldn't say was I couldn't figure out like what number to say with it, and
I was trying to go with cars that won too,
yeah,
because like you could say the Cartoon Network cars growing up,
yeah.
and just so many other ones,
I was
Skittles.
gonna
But
say
they
the Slack
like
modifieds.
no, oh yeah, just the Randy Slack scheme.
Like it's just
Yeah,
such an
we should have said
iconic.
that one.
It's just such an iconic car. Like even now to Dalton, if
Yep.
Dalton rolls that out of the trailer, you know it's a Slack car. Like the association is there
Yep.
with that one. So I would have.
Oh, we'll just add that one to
That was my
the
honorable
Don
mention.
Turner one because Don Turner ran a 39 and shared it with Randy one year, and Don's car looked that way too. We're just gonna add that one up there.
Yep.
Just slash Don Turner slash.
No, you can't get
Randy
it now.
Slack,
I see what you're trying
3.
to do. No, you can't put that at suddenly at 3. That's not the way this works.
Oh yeah, well that's a good one. There's just so many.
Maybe we'll have
Hard
to like
name 'em all.
circle back and do a modified exclusive ones for
Circle
that
back.
one. But
Yep.
all right, let's
guest.
let's get into our guest here.
He's probably waiting.
Yeah, at
wondering
this
where the
point,
heck
he's
we
like,
are.
"Where are they?"
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah. Well, we've got Mike Bowman on the show. We're going to catch up with him now on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast. Folks from Vansickle Pet Value and PV on the Lane aren't just fans of your favorite four-legged friends, they are race fans too. That's why Jeff and Rhonda Riley, as well as their staff, have teamed up with Merrittville Speedway to make your race day experience more convenient. Race fans can now pick up tickets for race nights while grabbing the highest quality food, treats, toys, and accessories for their pets from the St. Catharines and Niagara Falls locations. Beat the box office and the crowds. Their support of local racing doesn't just stop with you, the race fan. Catch the Vansickle Pet Value PV on the Lane 4 cylinders racing at Merrittville Speedway throughout the 2024 season. Check out Vansickle Pet Value across from Best Buy and Walmart on 4th Avenue in St. Catharines and PV on the Lane at the corner of Kayla Road and Lundy's Lane, Highway 20. And we are back with our guest here on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast this week. We've got Mike Bowman back with us. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good, buddy. Good. Good catching up with you yesterday. You were out at practice. Didn't have the fire suit on, but you were there watching your driver, Brent Begolo, driving the crate sprint for you guys this year. Just talk to us about how that experience was and how things changed being, I guess, like a car owner and being in that role.
Um, yeah, it's cool. I mean, Brent's drove for me a couple of times. I think he's run Pete Costco Memorial for us, and I think he's run a Super Dirt Series race at Merrittville in our big block for us. I mean, Brent's a mistake-free guy. Typically, always brings it back in one piece. Good racecraft, smart driver. Um, and he works for Seaway too, and does a heck of a job for us on the parts counter. So, it's there's lots of reasons to put that guy in that crate car. So, happy to have him, and super impressed with the job he did last night.
How long has he been around now? Like 20 years, or is it 15? Like it's pushing 2 decades. It's crazy to think, but like for you to be buds, like it's been a while.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've been buds
Pushing 2
since he was.
decades.
Yeah, he was racing street stocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of when we really first met.
Just making us feel old.
He came down to Dirt Week before he was of age to drink there at the mile, and he got in shit the one night. So that's going back a ways.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was thinking about that earlier.
I was thinking about just the fact that you got this crate program that has been so successful after the last couple of years, and you've got this great crew that's committed to the race car each and every week. So for Brent to be walking into this situation, what expectations do you have on him and the team for this year in terms of the crate car and his first full go at it in the crate?
I'm really confident in Brent's abilities. Like, like I said, I mean, he's got great racecraft. Uses his head. He's, there's guys that, it takes almost everything they got just to operate the car. And then there's guys that have a little bit left that can think while they're out there too. And Brent's one of those guys. Just, just never see too many mistakes out of that guy. So that's the kind of guy that, it was either like sell that thing or put somebody that I think's really good
Sell that thing for a loss.
well, I
That's
don't
what it
know.
was.
That thing's paid for itself probably
Was
by now, but
taking your winnings out. For a
yeah,
normal person, it's a loss.
yeah. I mean,
I'm just mean selling is like hard to get what it's worth. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
I mean, it's hard to sell it anyway. I mean, it's the
Yeah,
thing
exactly.
is, yeah. So just everything kind of made sense when Brent's name got tossed into the hat, and we decided, yeah, not to sell it. So yeah, my back to your question more directly answer that, Jonathan. Like I expect to win. I mean, I wouldn't do this if I had to give up that expectation. So, um, what I saw last night, yeah, I'm not worried at all about meeting those expectations.
Okay, enough about that. What are you doing this year? Same car as last year? New car? Schedule?
Yeah, yeah. The first batch of powder coat we got on my first GSR car, it was looking a little haggard, so we stripped that championship car, got it repowder coated over at Rival, and put it all back together with all the same parts, obviously serviced. Got got my engine we won with. Had to get a pretty thorough going over. The injection was pretty wore out, so that's away right now. So we're gonna put in a different one to start here, and once the other one comes back, we'll probably end up putting that one back in serial number 5, which we won the championship with last year, and we'll take this other engine and put it in a new car that we've built. Um, a little different combination, but yeah, that's the plan. Week and Friday nights, and gonna hit some of the ESS races that I've got
Coming to
some
Fulton?
modified.
You
Yeah,
should
I'm
come
coming
to
to
Fulton,
Fulton. Oh yeah,
April 26th. Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that's fun.
we're going. Yeah,
We're
so
going.
any of those ESS races where we don't have anything else going on and it's at a track where we've raced some modifieds before, I think that's kind of makes sense for us to go to those. We'll do as much of the SOS as I can. There's a couple conflicting dates just with family stuff and whatnot, but oh, my finger's in the shot there. I'll move that.
It's
Not that it
audio.
Good
matters.
thing
We're just audio
it's an
anyway.
audio
Yeah,
podcast. You're good. But
yeah, no.
yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, let's cut as much of the SOS as we can. Um, you know, other than that,
Well,
nothing really on the
there's.
radar.
That's what I thought.
I was like, is this
Yeah.
not the year to go 410? Come on, buddy.
Nah, Fort with what? I mean, I
Oh,
don't know
what
what
if
Fort.
What if Justin Henderson doesn't go good with Guy? He's gonna hire Mike Bowman. Give you one race. Talk one race
I
out of
mean,
him.
I mean, I can ask him. I talked to him. I was talking to him the other night. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty wild dream.
I know. This fuck.
Yeah,
Why not?
I
Sometimes you
mean
gotta send it.
we've talked about going to Knoxville with the 360, but I mean it's a bucket
Smart
list
ways to
thing.
just it's
Yeah, I
cheaper
mean
to talk Guy into let you drive the 5.
yeah, well,
There's an iconic paint scheme. Guy Forbrook 5. We did iconic paint scheme draft.
yeah, if you know
I picked
Guy,
Alan
Guy,
Kawicki 7.
yeah, well, Guy'd be a tough sell on that. I think
Yeah.
need
I know.
need a
He's
little
been around
more.
forever.
Oh yeah, yeah, but you need a little more clout, and a bigger resume to get in that car.
True.
But yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
I'd like to see Justin Henderson win the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Let's be honest. Those guys
you,
struggle on ice. Like every other sprint car driver. Like Danny Barron won the All-Star race at Cayuga County last year. No different than you.
did
And
he win it?
he did. He won the 410 All-Star race at Cayuga County.
With a 360?
No, he won with a 410. So I'm
I didn't know
like,
Danny Barron had a
our
410.
ice is different for normal sprint car guys, and you proved it last year.
It's just our dirt in Southern Ontario here, right? Like,
Yeah, it's not even, it's Northeast. Every track
Yeah.
around here gets ice.
yeah,
Starts heavy, gets to ice.
yeah. Merrittville's probably the iciest. You'd agree?
It's up there.
Yeah, Oshwegan can get super icy too. Like
Yeah.
the cast car races, the
Yeah.
iciest
I was just
I've
gonna
ever seen
say-
Oshwegan.
So you'd agree, night 2, when we rolled out
Yeah.
there, that's the slipperiest I've ever drove that place.
Honestly, night 1 was, and I was so terrible, and I wasn't in the points. I just said F this stuff and didn't even go night 2, and I watched you win from home. That's how icy that one was for me.
Okay,
I was
so
terrible.
yeah, I found night 2 a little bit
Even icier.
slipperier. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And when we went out after those Penny's cars, it was like, it was weird. It was like there was a fine dust all over it, almost
'Cause it
chalky.
was,
Yeah.
Yeah. But anywhere you go, like I went to Utica Rome earlier in the year, same thing,
Mhm.
hammer down in the hot laps, and it felt like the fastest I've ever went in the sprint car because it probably was.
Yeah.
And then feature like pure ice top to bottom.
Can you imagine rolling wheels in a 410?
Yeah. Whenever I saw it, it was pretty hammered down though, like super dirt week.
Were you there the night the record got set there?
Yeah, but that was a fake record because they used to call rolling wheels a 5/8, and it was no near a 5/8. It was like a half. So it's
You
not
were there you were there that night though, right?
I was there that night though.
Oh,
Yeah.
Me too. It was fucking badass. Oops. Am I allowed to swear
You're
in here?
fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, badass
Oh, yeah,
isn't a
okay.
swear
We
word.
gotcha.
No, I said
the
I
F
dropped
word.
the
But
F
so did
bomb.
Travis already. So it just
All right, sweet.
it's just a couple more edits
He's
for me. That's
leading
all.
by example.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's not the one who has to
You
edit
can
the
bleep.
thing, so that's why it always works out for him.
Yeah.
Don't edit, leave them in.
Yeah.
It's not a completely family friendly show anymore. All right, we'll work it
Yeah.
out.
So,
But I wanted
yeah.
to ask, Mike, you have this crazy great stretch, especially to end the year, but really a great 2023 overall.
We didn't end the year on a
I was
great
gonna say, I
note,
guess you didn't
eh,
really
Trev?
technically end it on a great year. In the 360, you ended things.
I
on a
wasn't
great
even
year.
going to bring that up, dog. We were talking about Oshwegan.
I'm just talking about all the checks that we're cashing at the end of the year towards the last half of 2023. So, but you go out and you win all these amazing events, these major events. What's going to be the hardest part of going back and trying to defend all that stuff? Is it stiffer competition? You guys feel like you got a target on your back going into this year? What's the challenge for the 71 crew looking like?
It's always harder to repeat it, I think. I think it's assumed that everybody's working hard. I mean, look at I notice guys that went to Florida. I know, we're hoping to get a practice in Saturday at Merrittville. I know there's guys going racing, and that's just effort. If you want it more and you put more in and go racing, you're gonna knock more rust off than going and practicing. So I see that there's other guys digging hard. I expect it. I think Dylan maybe had a bit of an off year. So we expect him to be strong. They're really not counting anybody out. And you don't take anything for granted. I mean, every wave hits the beach once in a while, eventually. So yeah, just keep going prepared like we did. And yeah, I mean, I think we had some racing luck too that went our way last year. Like sometimes when you're getting that luck and you got the speed and you're in the position to capitalize on the opportunities, I mean, it can all fall your way, and you have these dream seasons. But I mean, man, I've had some other seasons where I'm ready to quit or jump off a bridge.
I've seen that part of you too. Most people,
Yeah.
that's the thing. All the sprint car guys didn't see that part of you. And like I was telling
Yeah.
this to Jonathon earlier, like the Hills racing guys, after your little debacle over traction control, which was silly to start with, in my opinion, but anyway, like they were trying to plead their case with me a little bit, and I'm like, guys, I hear you, like you're saying and stuff. I'm like, but like, I used to go to Mike Bowman's house after Port Dalhousie bar. Like, I don't like. What are you trying to say to me here? Like, I'm a little tighter with MB, but like, talk us through like what. Like, first of all, I was watching the 2006 Canadian Sprint Car Nationals the other day, and Steve Poirier was Mike Bowman before Mike Bowman was Mike Bowman because he came in. They're modified, same thing, and he won the Nationals' first 2 shots, rookie year and second year. That made me think of you when I was watching that. Yep.
So
Poirier did do it.
I'm not the first rookie?
You're not even the first rookie modified guy to come in and win the Nationals. It was Poirier first.
You're killing me, Smalls.
I know.
You're ruining the hype. It's one less thing to put on the bio this year.
Okay.
First rookie to win the title, at least?
Yes. But yeah, Poirier won the Nationals as a rookie before you from the mods. And,
well, fuck.
Yeah, he didn't get accused of traction control or nothing. So talk us about the whole thing. Do you want to talk about it to start with? And
yeah, I don't care. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So lead us through that whole thing and like to the lunch. I want to know what you had to lunch. Start with.
So how far back do you want to go? Like,
well, just talk to us about
right. Like you win the Nationals. You win the Nationals.
Your car's
you're in
getting
tech.
torn down.
Okay, how about okay? So it started on the pad. It started on the pad. I could tell. There was tension. Doug Leonard's there on the quad, watching me like a hawk, hurrying us up. It was a big moment for us. I got my dad there. I'm sharing that moment with my dad. So I didn't appreciate getting rushed out of there, first of all. It's a pretty special moment to share with your dad. So that pissed me off. So then finally get over to the tech barn, whatever. It was a pretty somber environment over there. But they told us we were getting protested. We had all the confidence in the world. We knew we're good. Pulled the mag, and here's our level of inexperience with mags is that we pulled the whole thing out like a distributor. We didn't even leave the drive in the motor. We pulled it out like a distributor, right? Like, which maybe that's good. Maybe that's what they were wanting. But
that's how I do it too.
Do you? Okay. Well, you're an engine guy, so I'm glad. I don't feel so goofy. Yeah. So I pull that out. I take the vibrating pen and I initial it and whatever. Glenn initials it. And then then we're done. They held the winnings. And then like within a couple of days, people starting shit about how we switched the mag.
As if that was possible with everybody sitting there watching you.
Well, the guys who protested us decided that Daryl would be the guy to keep eyes on us the whole time, which, good on them. I mean, I would too if I was them. But anyway, so he watched us the whole time, and whoever was coming up with these stories about, switching the mag and whatever, like I called Kelly Hallett. I'm like, they're saying we switched the mag. He's like, well, if they switched the mag, then you must have put the other one in a fucking oven because it was hot as hell when Liam handed it to me. So anyway, then they said, I guess somebody said the mag in the engine was red, and it wasn't red. It's been black mag the whole time. So I think I was almost home, and my phone rings, and it's Forbrook, and he says, "You got any photos of your car, just like in the shop from this year?" And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" He's like, "I'm not telling you what it's about." He's like, "Send me a picture of the car with the hood off in the shop." And I was like, all right, I'll look. So I looked. I didn't have any. We got like a team group chat, text chat or whatever. And I put it out to the guys. I'm like, Forbrook's asking if we got a picture of the car with the hood off from this year. Because like this all gets back to him, right? So I'm being accused of cheating. Forbrook's
it's
obviously
all the way back to Minnesota.
Yeah. So Forbrook's helping me But if I'm cheating, like he's out,
Yeah.
right? So anyway, so he's uh he's not even being straight with me why he wants these photos, right? But because he wants to know. So anyway, send him the photos, and I was on the phone with him when I sent him, and he just laughs. And I'm like, "What?" He says, "These guys said you had a red mag in the car and that you guys have switched it." And anyway, at lunch that all got sorted out, and it really wasn't. It wasn't Daryl coming up with any of that stuff. It was other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I know who it was too, so we'll leave that out of it. I know
Leave
who
that out.
it's all the fire between myself and Daryl is out. I think the fire still burns with some other people, but you're not going to convince
I honestly
everybody.
wanted the rivalry to go on.
Nah,
Like
it's
I know
not good.
Clint
It's
kind of
not good.
arranged it. Like a guy
Nah,
with
it's
no way. Central PA was born on rivalries like that. They still thrive on it. I love that stuff. But me personally, that's just me. But
yeah, but I
like
mean,
Central Pennsylvania was born on rivalries. Like people can't even argue that.
yeah,
Opperman, Weld, Raymer, whatever. Like so many. Raymer, Dietrichs now. Like so many. But
yeah.
rivalries are awesome. There's a TV show at Us Weekend. Like, hello.
Oh, I had to go on there and explain my piece too.
I know. I
Oof.
know.
Oh yeah.
That'll be fun on the
So
new
that
season.
that'll be coming out. Yeah.
What did you have for lunch?
I had where was it? French onion soup, Caesar salad,
That's
Ricky
it.
Joe's.
I
Oh, it's the
Yeah, I
best.
know. Ricky Joe's. I went there with Gigs last year because he helped fix my trailer, and I
Yep.
had the wings, and they weren't. I wasn't
Yeah.
totally sold on them. Nope, their
No.
sauce is terrible.
No. But if you like French onion soup, get some cheese on the garlic bread. You won't be sorry.
Oof.
Oh,
All
fuck.
right.
I'm going for lunch tomorrow,
I
maybe.
like the
Yep.
recommendations. So,
So
we got 2024 coming up. You kind of mentioned trying to hit the SOS as much as you can. Gonna go hit some ESS. Gonna go and try and defend the title over at Oshweekend. What constitutes a great year again, coming off of last year? I mean, obviously the expectation is to win as much as you possibly can, but if somehow you guys end up falling short of the championship, is all lost. What constitutes a great season going into 2024?
uh a great season is winning some races, contending or winning some big races. Not wrecking race cars. The goal for me, is that I don't want any DNFs. We had two DNFs this year. Uh, Typically, anytime I've ever run for a title, if you have two DNFs, you can forget it. Um, you need to be finishing every lap if you're going to win championships. And, fortunately, we won enough races, and other people had some circumstances. I mean, the 15 had some circumstances. Dylan had some circumstances. So, you know, there's a like I say, there was some racing luck involved in a lot of this year. But we were lucky enough to capitalize on some misfortunes. But yeah, good year for us is just hope Brent wins some races. Um, we win some races, and hopefully I build some healthier relationships at that place. Then maybe
Oh, you bring your friends to the track.
yeah, I know, but man,
I told my guys if you look at another, I catch you looking at another pit this year, other than like Bowman and Sheridan, like you're done.
yeah, I don't know, man. It's like Trav, man, like I'm used to hanging around drinking beer after the races and
I
having
know,
laughs
I
and
know, I know, I know.
like
There's that part of it too.
what a
It's
fucking
It's
180.
cutthroat this day though. Even Daryl was talking on his podcast this week with like Dominic Selzy, just how like the driving styles are like you're throwing your right front, especially on the national tour, like this year, like you're throwing your right front, the guy's left front, and you're trying to take the air or make the guy lift. It's no longer like race the guy. It is make him lift or he's wrecking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Like etiquette's gone. Like back in the day, Steve Kinser would come down and squeeze your head with his massive palm. Like, just put it on your face and squeeze it until you had no face left. Like, you
Yeah.
used to have to answer that stuff, and I hate that you don't have to answer that stuff no more.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the start.
yeah, the cops get called far too easily anymore.
I know.
But,
If
you
it's
know.
driver on driver, like, you got to let it go. Like,
Yeah.
especially because we were talking about the Jacob Allen Geo Salesy thing earlier.
Mhm.
Jacob running his mouth on Facebook like he should have just went down. They said that on Dominic said that too. Just should have went down and had to chat. Like,
Yeah.
don't even have to get mouth. Like, you could have just chirped at each other right there. It's better for us to watch it, but. And I even hate going to guys' pit, but even if do it the next week or something.
I learned my lesson on that about once every 5-6
you did.
years. Yeah.
I know it's tough sledding, but you also can't just let guys run over you either.
Yeah. Even the little guy will pop you when you're not looking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm more scared of little guys, honestly.
Yeah.
They're quicker and more gangly and quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get him out of here on this one because, I don't think he's had a chance to answer our new kind of wrap-up question, which is, Mike, I'm giving you an unlimited budget, an unlimited plot of land somewhere here in Southern Ontario to build your perfect dirt facility. You can borrow design plans from any other racetrack that you've been to or maybe ones that you know about that you haven't been to yet. But what does the ideal perfect dirt facility look like here in Southern Ontario?
I don't know, man. We're pretty spoiled every Friday night.
Yeah.
Like
even Merrittville, we're spoiled there too.
Even we're fortunate,
like,
right? I don't know. I would like
this area is so fortunate.
You know, the only thing we're missing is like the crowds like we get in Quebec, and like
I always
packed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to the gills.
Yeah, like that's. I think the facility wise, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty tough to top what we already got going on, but maybe something.
Okay, so facility
bigger,
like just
bigger.
Yeah, you could go bigger.
I don't know.
Would you change?
Like,
bigger.
Knoxville size, like a bigger paperclip, flatter, wider wall around the outside.
What's that horse track on the way to Barrie? I say make that wider and put dirt on it. That would be
how
right off the highway.
Fort Erie racetrack, man.
Yeah, could do that.
Same thing, yeah. Make that wider and put dirt on.
I've said forever that they should. Never mind.
I always think that.
I always said never mind actually trying to build a racetrack. Just buy Fort Erie racetrack, pave it, and then there's your NASCAR track in Southern Ontario. Put some banking on it. And
or
pave guys.
Go up to Jukasa with some bulldozers and get the pavement off of it.
Ooh, that too. That could work.
Someone needs to save that too.
But leave the pits paved.
Yeah.
It'd be like the North
paved pits at a dirt track is the ultimate.
It's like North Wilkesboro when they did that before the repave. They knocked it all off and then they put dirt down on it, or that was the plan. I don't know if they ended up getting those races in or not, but yeah, I could see that happen.
Pave it all except the racetrack.
Perfect.
Which we already kind of have. We're so spoiled up there. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we are pretty lucky around here. It's like somebody asked me on my like open mic part of the show when I was on Hits FM the other day. They're like, it was like, why is Ohsweken infinitely better than Merrittville Speedway? And I was like, I don't really think of it as a better, like it depends what you like. If you like sprint cars, go out on a Friday night. If you like modifieds, you go out on a Saturday night. We're just spoiled to have not just one, not two, but sometimes we get a Humberstone running. We get Ransomville not too far away. We have so many great tracks in the States, so many other ones in Ontario. Even Quebec's not that far to really drive for a race if you really want to go see something really cool. So we're pretty spoiled where we are with the racetracks and the quality of racing and race car drivers that we have here. And you're at the top of the list in terms of quality guys right now going forward. So good luck in 2024, Mike. Good luck with the crate program with Brent as well. And hope to see you guys not in the not too distant future.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Catch up with you on the weekend if it doesn't rain out, I guess.
Yeah, or if it does rain out, you get to come to my Stag and Doe. There we go.
Yeah, we do have a babysitter that night.
Perfect. Yeah, now that's what we're talking about. I like it. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right, boys.
Mike Bowman on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast. And the checkered is out on another episode of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show presented by Ohsweken Speedway and Bicknell Racing Products. Like what you hear, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Connect with us on Facebook at Southern Ontario Dirt Show, or find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at SODS_pod. Have a question for the show? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com. Thanks for supporting local racing in Southern Ontario, and we'll see you at the track.